Hello everyone, just to let you know, we are recording the meeting. I'm sure you're probably more used to these Teams meetings than us now. But yeah, the meeting's being recorded, so if people miss it, they can watch it back. Welcome, thank you for coming. This is going to be just a short meeting giving you the outline really of some of the things that you need to do prior to the children leaving in a few weeks for PGL. So in terms of what to bring, obviously the weather, it can vary. Some years it's sunny, some years it's wet. It is obviously, as those of you with older siblings and things who've been will know, it's an outdoors place. We're outdoors in all weather. It doesn't stop really for the weather. So old clothes are essentials really, things that you don't mind the children getting dirty, maybe losing potentially in a dorm situation. The lost property is pretty good, and we bring things back to school and we'll send things back, but I would be prepared probably to just send old clothes that you don't mind getting wet, covered in mud, and possibly not returning. In terms of footwear, trainers are good. So one pair of trainers for everyday wear, and then a pair of trainers that you don't mind getting really wet again, through the woods, across the fields. It does get wet, gets boggy. For any water activities, we recommend just clothes, obviously, that are going to get wet. The likelihood is that the children will be in the water. For the water activities, they won't stay dry. In fact, they're encouraged sometimes to get in. So, yeah, again, things you don't mind being covered in lake water, river water. Again, the weather, end of October, it's unlikely to be the case, but if you want to send them with hats, sun cream, again, insect bite repellent, more than welcome to. But yeah, again, towards the end of October, it shouldn't really be an issue generally. So toiletries, the children should have roll-on deodorants rather than spray deodorants, just for the fire alarms and things like that. So encourage that, no aerosols, obviously, to be packed. Also in their kit bag, there is a tuck shop. So £20 is about the right amount in a label purse or wallet. So something that the children recognise as their own, really, with their name on in case they go missing. They're more than welcome to bring their water bottles. So if they have a water bottle they bring into school, they want to take it with them. There's plenty of taps and things like that, so they can stay hydrated. I know how difficult it is sometimes to make sure children are drinking the recommended amount of water. So yeah, we encourage them to take the water bottles and to drink as much as they can. They're allowed to bring food with them. So no food on the coach, but they are allowed to take food into the dorms, and they're allowed to take sweets as well. So yeah, they're allowed to do that. As before, really, we'll touch a little bit on other additional food shortly, but Mrs. Page is going to do medicals now.
Yeah, so just to add on to what Mr. Calrow was saying, and medically-ish toiletries, please could you make sure that you send them with roll-on deodorant. It does set the fire alarm off if they use the spray in the room, and obviously we don't want to be doing that in the morning. So please can you just make sure that their deodorant is a roll-on and they're not bringing any products that they would spray, any aerosol products. Medicals, so after the meeting today, probably Monday next week, all of the paperwork is going to go home, so you'll get a copy of the kit list, and then you'll also get the children's medical forms. We need everybody's medical form back, regardless of whether they have any sort of specific medical needs, because that form gives us more than just kind of medication. Please can you send them back as soon as possible. If you do want to have a conversation with Mr. Calrow or I about anything at all, well, anything PGL related, but anything medical related, then just get in touch. Just drop the office an email, and then we can either arrange to meet you in person or give you a phone call. But all of your child's medical needs need to be on that medical form. Sometimes people like to let us know, for example, things like sleepwalking. I know sometimes that's a parental, like, oh, they get up in the night. We do have little alarms that we put on the doors, so they're very noisy. So if that door goes after we've kind of said lights out, then we definitely can't sleep through it. So just things like that, please use the medical form to notify us of. Any medication that the children take. So this might be ongoing medication. It can be, if they're bringing like an insect repellent, they can have that with them. If, for example, you wanted to send something for like post-bite treatment almost, so if you know that your child is prone to getting bites and you know that sometimes they don't react very well, then that needs to come to us. So we'll have probably the door open at the side of school because it will be early and we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll have that open. We'll have a table purely for medicals. Please bring the child's medication really clearly labelled with instructions of how and when it's to be administered, as well as doing that on the medical form. So this can include spare inhalers, it can include any kind of daily medication, anything like that that your child might need while we're away. Please can you make sure it's clearly labelled the morning of, and then just bring it to us before we get on the coach. I've put inhalers.
Yeah.
Is that everything medical? I think it is, isn't it? Right, do you want to do that?
Which one's that one?
No, you can do it.
Yeah, so just going back to on the day itself, obviously with the change slightly, we are going to start activities in the morning of the day. So if you could drop your children off for about 7:45 a.m. on the day, we are going to leave and depart on the coach at 8 a.m. So earlier than we come to school, obviously. So it's an early start, and then with traffic and things like that, we will start heading down to Shropshire and hopefully get there on time, ready to start the activity straight away. So it will be an 8 a.m. departure from school. So if you want to come and wave them off, that's the time to do it. And if you start arriving from about 1:45, obviously it's just before the rest of the school come into school anyway, so it should be nice and quiet, and you can come and wave them off and help us pack the coach, and that's that. Obviously, in terms of keeping in touch while we're away, the school uses Twitter, or X as it's called now, as its way of posting on social media. Those of you with permission will post photos on there as much as we can with the Wi-Fi situation. We will take loads of photos and we'll have them available and things like that. But if your child does not have permission through your choice to be on social media, you are welcome to change that if you wish, and just come into the office and let them know, or email the office and let them know for the duration of PGL, and you can always switch it back when PGL's over. It's a flexible system, but it's entirely up to you. Obviously, there's reasons why, but just let us know if you want that. Obviously, we've got a parent app and school gateway for any other communication needs, but generally, it's all through Twitter. You see the updates and you'll see activities going on there, videos and clips and pictures and things like that. Yeah. It
does tend to be in the evening that we tweet, so it might be, it's just because the Wi-Fi can be quite difficult when we're on the activities. So it might be that you don't see many tweets or updates during the day. Mrs. Davis is really good. She quite often pings out or sends a little message via the app to let you know how we're getting on and what we're up to that day. But it might be that you don't see many photos during the day, and then of the evening it'll be like ping, 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 because that's when we get the better Wi-Fi where we are on site. If we say no phones for the children at all, it's a safeguarding issue first and foremost, and also they're very expensive and we can't have any liability that will keep them safe or damage free. If there is something for whatever reason that you need to contact us about, or you need us to know, then if you get in touch with school, then we are on hand all of the time. Mr. Calrow and I will have our phones on us, so will the other staff that are attending. So we are able to take those calls. So if something crops up that you think actually they need to know, or there's an emergency of some sort, if you get in touch with school, and then they will get in touch with us. We have all of your contact information with us. So for example, if there is something where we need to contact you, it's really unusual and really rare. But for example, if there's, I don't know, previously it might be that we've needed to ask your permission to administer something like Piriton, for example, then we can get in touch with you really readily. We've got all that information. So please don't worry about the communication while we're away, because it is really effective, and we've used the system for a long time now, haven't we? Right, yeah. Do you want to do dorms?
Yeah, so in terms of dorms, obviously the children will need a sleeping bag and a pillow. They're really lovely. It's nice, the accommodation. They're warm and dry, and we've got plenty of space to socialise, and they love it, the children. It's really nice. It's nice for them to be independent prior to going to high school and things like that, and getting them used to being away. And they always do surprises. They come out of PGL feeling like they've grown about 3 years in a couple of days, so it'll be lovely. In terms of dorms, we've asked that the children, or we're going to ask the children, and you can let them know, to choose 2 friends basically they would like to be with, and then that way we're guaranteed that each child will have somebody that they want to be with. So we're going to ask the children to choose 2 people in a dream scenario that they would room with, share a dorm with, and the likelihood is, well, they'll get one of those choices, so that nobody feels without a friend. Obviously, we have to take things into consideration when we're setting dorms, but yeah, that way we've got a friend.
I think that's almost everything. Did we talk about packed lunch when we left? So because we're going early this year, so we can have the extra activities on the first day, we're asking that children bring a packed lunch. That'll be to eat at lunchtime. When we get there, it just means that we can get there nice and early. They can do their first couple of activities. We'll have our packed lunch, and then our first meal there will be our evening meal. So not to eat on the coach. They can bring all the sweets and all of the terrible things that they want to bring for in their dorms. But if they bring that packed lunch with them for the first day, for that, like Mr. Caro said, that 7:45 start. But other than that, obviously we're happy to take questions if anything does crop up at all in the meantime. But just to reassure you, I mean, Mr. Caro and I are both parents. We've both got our own children, so there's very little that we haven't seen or dealt with ourselves already. And we look after them as if they're our own as well while they're there. They do have the best time ever, don't they?
Yeah, it's lovely. So there'll be myself, Mrs. Payson, and 3 other members of staff going, who are all really familiar to the children, teachers from school and things. So it's going to be, really looking forward to it. They have been in the first couple of weeks such a brilliant year group so far. Been really impressed, so excited for the trip.
Does anybody have any questions now that they'd like to ask? If you do, if you want to unmute yourself and ask. If not, if you're happy and you've got no questions, then we will email the link around. Oh, we've got a chat. Then we'll email the link around. So please don't worry as well if you were a little bit late logging on. You'll get the link to the meeting just in case you missed the first bit. Oh, are you typing in the chat?
I'll type it in the chat.
Hi, can I ask a question, please? It's Noah's.
Hi, you okay?
The friends, obviously Noah's quite friendly with the girls. Would it be mixed dormitories?
Usually we have single sex dorms. What we've said previously, with, and not just necessarily in that situation, but with children who may not end up in a dorm with the people, with everybody that they choose, is that we can put them on the same, what would you call it, like block?
Block, yeah.
So whilst they might not be in the same dorm, they would be in the same kind of block next to each other. With their dorms, we tend to let them go in and out of each other's dorms literally until bedtime, until lights out. So they can spend time when they get dorm time. They can go in and out of each other's dorms. They play games. Quite often they bring little things like Uno to play, and they can do that. They can come and go until we're literally like it's bedtime. So they tend to just be for sleep. However, if it's something that you want to talk about, then Mr. Cowher and I are more than happy to have the conversation, aren't we, about it? So just let us know. Maybe have a chat with Noah and then just let us know what he's thinking.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
No.
I'd probably say not really wellies, only because in the activities the children have got to be really mobile, so they'll have to climb, scramble. So trainers, walking boots are better if you can. It is muddy, obviously, if it rains, but generally the children have to be really mobile in the activities, have to scramble up things, the feet are on the side of the walls, the climbing. So wellies, although waterproof, are a little bit cumbersome probably for the activities that we would do. A kit list.
Yeah, so that should be going out with all your medical info. So it'll likely be Monday next week or tomorrow, now that we've had the meeting, and you'll get the full kit list with everything we recommend. But again, if anything crops up, if you're not sure about anything, if anything's unclear, then just let us know, and we can always let you know.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. It's always awkward, this bit, isn't it? So we'll wait a couple more minutes to see whether any other questions do crop up. But if in the meantime, if you're happy, then thank you for coming, and we'll ping the link.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stop.